Speaking of great voices, the Deftones have finished recording all the music for their upcoming album. Quote, we're really excited. And this is from, of course, Blabbermouth, April 12th. A song of the Deftones has been popping up in my mix lately a lot that I forgot about, called Holding the Earth. Have you ever heard that song?
Yeah, that's a good song. That's off their self-titled one, isn't it?
It's off of Saturday Night Wrist, I think.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was a later one.
Yeah.
That was a single, I think. That's how I know it.
Yeah, it's such a good song. I forgot about that. Like, Deftones are one of those bands that just, like, consistently, they never strayed, like, too far from their original sound, but they just continually put out, like, good album after good album. Like, solid album after solid album. Like, their last album, even, Ohms, was really good.
Okay, so here, again, I'm going to just be honest here. I knew their first 4 albums well.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I kind of fell off, and I haven't really listened to them.
So the self-titled is the 4th, right? It goes
Yep.
Adrenaline, Round the Fur, White Pony, self-titled.
Yep. Then Saturday Night Wrist, Diamond Eyes, which both of those I think I knew of.
Man, Diamond Eyes.
I knew some of the hits off of those ones.
Sex Tape, the song Sex Tape from Diamond Eyes is like one of my favorite Deftones songs. Have you heard that song? Oh,
yeah, I think I've listened to that whole album because it looks familiar with the owl on the front.
Yeah, Sex Tape is kind of like, it reminds me, it's very similar to Digital Bath from White Pony.
Oh,
it has that same kind of like
favorite.
Yeah, I think Sex Tape I might even like better. It's like the same type of vibe. But the chorus is just like so good. It's such a soaring, like powerful chorus. Maybe because I listened to it a lot when I was dropping E with my ex-girlfriend, and maybe that's why I like it so much. But
I've never done that.
Honestly, I mean, if you listen to it, you'll hear what I'm saying. It's very similar to, it has a similar vibe to the Digital Bath track.
Did you ever see them live, like when they were starting out? Because you're California.
I did. I saw them, dude. They were huge in Salt Lake. One of the most epic shows I ever attended was Deftones and Quicksand, the band Quicksand, at a classic roller skating rink in Salt Lake City.
At a roller skating rink.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a badass show. I mean, people weren't roller skating, but they had the show at a roller skating rink. You know, they like closed off the floor and put a stage up and stuff.
Yeah, the only time I've seen the Deftones was like early 2000s. That was a good show though too. It was Thursday and Thrice opening up for the Deftones.
I got to see them on 420 a couple years ago with Gojira at the Greek Theater.
Yeah, I know. That's the show I wanted to go to, you skunk.
That's right. We talked about this. I felt bad too.
No, don't feel bad. I'll get them this tour.
Yeah, you can have them this tour. I'll buy my tickets this time. But that was a great show. And yeah. So anyway, moving to the next slide here. Earlier today, April 12th. So this is from Friday. This is breaking news from Friday. Frontman Chino Moreno spoke to the KROQ radio station backstage at Coachella about the band's plans to follow 2020's Ohms album. He said, "We haven't really talked much publicly about it. We've just sort of been working on and off over the last year and a half when we started writing to basically where we're sitting at right now is we have a whole record, recorded all musically, and it's pretty much my job right now to finish up the vocals. And I have obviously this show again next week. And then straight after that, I go home to Oregon and I go in the studio. So as long as that takes, I hate to put a definite kind of time frame because we're not really in a rush. We want it to be great. I think that's most important, but it is coming. And yeah, it's really good. We're excited with what we've been working on and everybody's jazzed." Any comments, Joey?
No, I'm just thinking I'm just looking at the discography here and I'm like, I got to get back and listen to some of these Deftones.
Hole in the Earth came up on my shuffle the other day. And I was like, wow, this is like a Deftones song that I forgot about. I forgot how good this song was.
And then I just got distracted by their covers too. So here's the thing. The cover art, we have something, what is it, that little nose sucker thing on Adrenaline?
Oh, it's like I forget what they're called.
Yeah, it sucks the snot out.
The booger
So we got some random thing there. Then we have Around the Fur, which is a woman on the front. White Pony has an animal. Then we get the self-titled, which is a skull with roses. So this is something different. And then we have a woman again. And then Diamond Dice has an owl. So there's an animal. There's like a pattern going on here.
Oh, okay.
And then Koi no Yokan, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's like some random cover. And then instead of doing a woman, then they did birds again. And then Ohms looks like a woman's eyes. So there's like a theme going on here.
Yeah, birds and girls.
Yeah.
Speaking of birds, man, this is kind of a little side story here. Nature.
I really went off on a side story there. I apologize.
No. You made me think about owls. So my neighbor's cat, I've probably told you this many times, but she likes to kill mice and leave them on my doorstep. Like, hey, look, I left you a little tribute. And the other day, I woke up and my son goes, dude, someone, like an animal, like left a dead rabbit outside, but it's like headless. Like it's like a decapitated rabbit, like on our doorstep. And I'm like, there's no way a cat did this. Like it had to have been an owl that like took its head off, and then because there's a tree outside my door too, so maybe it just dropped the carcass there. But it just like then by the time I got out there, the crows had gotten to it and like its intestines were all strewn out and stuff. It was like
take a picture. Insane. That could be an album cover for your kid someday.
There you go. I should have took a picture. I was like, yo, can you throw the rabbit's body in the garbage so like a dog doesn't eat it or something? But yeah, anyways, the owl thing got me thinking about that. Nature is brutal, and
it is.
It's wild that all these animals leave tributes to us on my doorstep. I was like, that's how awesome we are, son. Like animals leave tributes to us. They're like, here's a dead animal, here's a dead bunny and a dead mouse for you.
Hey, it's yours.
So regarding the musical direction of the new Deftones material, Chino said, I feel like overall it's an invigorated kind of sound. We went in and everybody, it's like after all these years you go in and it's like we hadn't written a record since, when was it? Pre-COVID. I think when we were last in the studio. So it'd been a while since we'd actually, I mean, we've been playing shows, but we hadn't really got into being creative. The creative part to me is always kind of the funnest part of being in this band. Performing is great, but coming up with something out of nothing, that feeling cannot be topped. And so when you get in the room with your friends, we're laughing and having fun, and someone does something and then I react to it, or they react to what I'm doing. It goes in a circle, and then all of a sudden we lift our heads up and there's something that exists that didn't exist before we walked in that room. That's just great. So the rest of it is just them talking about how awesome it is being in the studio. But then I thought I'd clip this last part because it talks about the new bass player. In 2022, they recruited Fred Sablin as their new touring bassist, following the departure of Sergio Vega, who was in Quicksand and is now playing with Quicksand. They were also joined by a second guitarist, Lance Jackman. Sablin made his live debut with the Deftones in April 2022 at the opening concert of the band's Spring 2022 U.S. tour. Sablin is best known as the former bassist for Marilyn Manson, having toured and recorded with the shock rocker between 2010 and 2014. He has also played for Chelsea Wolfe and Peter Hook and the Light, and is a member of the punk rock supergroup Heaven's Blade, alongside Youth Code singer Sarah Taylor, former Rob Zombie bassist Piggy D, and Suicide Silence drummer Alex Lopez. So there you go.